So one of the biggest ways that Satan and his human cohorts, his human agents, use to try to get us outside of the will of God, and at very minimum try to steal our destinies or get us to forfeit our destinies, is through distractions. Yes, distractions. One minute you'll find yourself on fire for God. You'll find yourself on fire for whatever the passion is that God has given you. And you'll know that this is a passion, or that you'll know that this is your purpose, because it's something that you do very naturally. You don't have to try. You don't have to, it comes second nature to you, and you do it effortlessly. And one moment you'll find yourself doing this like on just on point, like on fire for it. And out of nowhere, now you either have some other situation come into your life, or come into your vision, your view, and now you're distracted. So now you no longer focus on that. This other thing that comes into your view, it can either be good or bad. It can be like family problems or issues, or it can be like a new partner, a new woman, or a new man in your life, but whatever it is intended to distract you from the thing that God has called you to do. And the reason that distractions are so prevalent in a lot of believers' lives is because we lack self-control. And no, self-control is not necessarily not doing the things that you want to do. So let's say you really want to, I don't know, you really want to go to the club on Friday, okay? But God has told you, like, don't do that. So now when Friday comes, you're staying home. That is not only self-control. Self-control is also doing what you don't feel like doing. So if God's telling you to get up and pray at 3 a.m. and you're like, I don't feel like doing it, that too is a lack of self-control. So self-control is doing what you don't want to do, what you don't feel like doing, and it is also not doing what you really want to do, as if it's outside of the will of God, okay? And so the biggest way to combat this is through placing systems in our lives. So just like when you go to work, you have some of us wake up and we have coffee the first thing in the morning, or we'll have breakfast, or we'll have lunch. You have a job and your lunchtime is 12 o'clock every single day, and your dinner, you have dinner with your family every single night at 6 o'clock. Whatever the situation may be, it is a type of system is in place. Whatever God has called you to do, you have to incorporate that into your daily life. You have to create systems and be on a regular schedule so that you can ensure that you stay within the trajectory that God has placed for you. Because the moment that you get outside of that and you allow distraction to run rampant in your life, then you find yourself now no longer doing the things that God wanted you to do. So at one point, let's say you were a songwriter and you wrote music, or let's say you were a singer, you're a worship singer and used to write songs and used to sing to the Lord all the time. And God's telling you, like, your music is going to glorify me in a major way. And now you find yourself not really wanting to do that anymore, and you had these dreams and these passions, let's say when you were like, younger, 20, 21 years old, okay, 20, 21. And now here you are like 30 years old and you no longer do those things. Now you find yourself working, a 9 to 5, which there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. But I'm saying God may have had something different for you. He may have wanted you to be, like a worship songwriter as opposed to doing this. And so because distraction and the circumstances of life, they got into the vision, they blocked the vision that God had for you. Now you're living a life, not necessarily a bad life, but one that is not fully in a full capacity that God has created you for. And so you're living a limited life as opposed to one that's in full fruition of what God has for you. And so I say this to try to encourage you, if that was your situation and you found yourself, 10 years ago or 15, 20, 30 years ago, and you used to have a passion for the guitar and you used to play guitar and, and wanted to write music or whatever the case may be. And this is just an example. Get back into that, incorporate it into your daily life and create systems for what God has for you. Create systems for the purpose that He has placed on your heart, because you know what God has called you to do. Like, a lot of us know, we just haven't done it because, again, it's something that comes very naturally to us. It's something that we do very easily, but a lot of times the enemy, he will distract us by any means. And sometimes it can be something that we deem as good. So it can be like, like a new woman, like I got a new woman, or I got a new man, and he is just all that in a bag of chips. Like he is like X, Y, and Z, like he's all of this, and now you find yourself no longer, practicing the guitar, no longer writing worship music, but now you're trying to figure out what you're going to wear and how you're going to impress this new man, because this man was a plot. He was a ploy to put in the path of the purpose and the destiny that God has for you. And now you are fully derailed, and you may be living like a very convenient, comfortable life, but God may have had an extraordinary life for you. And so I say this all to encourage you that it's never too late to pick back up the baton of where you left off 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. It may seem like it's too late. It may seem like I missed the mark and it's too late. It's not too late. It's never too late for God. Everything happens at the appointed time. If anything, you've learned a wealth of information and life experience, and now it's going to be much better than it was before. So just keep that in mind. So and God gave me this word this morning, and I wanted to share it. So if you found this video helpful at all, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see similar content, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Blessings.